Well, as with a lot of sci-fi shows, they borrow from plots of other genres that don't involve sci-fi at all. Battlestar Galactica, the original one, did this, where they basically kind of ripped off the plot of Towering Inferno, that 70s movie, and just had it have it happen on the Battlestar. It's Galactica itself, you know. So you got to struggle with the fire and figure out how to survive and all that sort of stuff. And but you know, a lot of shows just do this. I'm sure it crosses over between genres, and probably the cowboy shows, you know, took from the detective shows, and detective shows took from the cowboy shows, and so on and so forth. So with Blake 7, we have an episode called Mission to Destiny, which basically is just, you know, Murder on the Orient Express. More or less. I mean, not entirely. I mean, they just take the idea of somebody on this ship is a murderer. And ultimately, the basic setup of it is the Liberator encounters this ship, and there are people that are supposed to bring this, I don't know, energy substance that's supposed to help their food supplies on their planet called Destiny. And because there's some sort of I don't know, contamination of some, what was it, fungus or something. Anyway, so they got this solution to it, so it's very valuable. So there's this murder plot, and it unfolds that whoever committed this murder is after this substance to, you know, sell it off for personal profit. Well, it turns out that it wasn't meant to be a murder plot. The murderer here had intended to just put everybody asleep, and the Avon, Blake, and Callie, while they're investigating the ship, everybody's passed out, and they discover, oh, there's this gas flowing through the air system that puts you to sleep, and they almost fall asleep themselves, but they manage to, you know, avert this, and they correct the air system, and they discover the pilot is dead within the I guess the bridge or the control room, what have you, and he got hit in the face with a hammer or whatever. It's pretty bad, and we learned that, well, the control room of the ship had its own air system, so it didn't filter through, so the gas didn't reach him, and so the killer was rather stunned to find him still awake, and just, you know, out of panic, I guess, went ahead and just killed the guy. So, well, as they're going forward, other people begin to guess who the killer is, and so they turn up dead. Meanwhile, Blake hops on back to the Liberator to deliver the you know, the cure for their fungal outbreak on Destiny or what have you, and gets delayed by a meteor storm or something like that, you know, or asteroid had to fly through. Anyway, it's going to take him a while, and Avon and Callie stay back behind to help prepare the original ship, and of course, Avon is the perfect one to solve the murder, which he does. So he's the Poirot of this story. And finally, surprise, it's a woman. Yeah, I didn't see that coming. And she, you know, had a dealer on their way to purchase the energy source. And they're on their way. And then the Liberator comes back just in the nick of time, and Blake, Avon explains the situation, so Blake sets up the ship to explode. Everybody transmits over to the Liberator, and the killer, she was going to go with them, but at the last minute she took the bracelet off and thinks, I'm going to get away and meet up with my friends, and then the ship shows up and it just blows up. We never really identify who the buyers were. And did they really deserve to get obliterated? I don't know, but hey, whatever. And Blake's hardcore, you know. He's just like, I took care of that one. And the survivors, they hitch a ride on the Liberator to their home planet, and that's that. So yeah, that's and it works out. They do it good enough, and it's one of those where you can utilize this plot point for sets that wouldn't be too costly to do. And you go up one hallway, and then you turn the angle, and you're going down another, and it's the same one, but it looks different. So it works, and you see a lot of that shows, especially sci-fi shows and whatnot. And it's not bad. It's pretty good. And of course, Avon is the perfect character for this sort of thing. I mean, this guy could have probably had his own mystery show. This arrogant bastard who's crooked enough to know all the tricks and stuff. And so it works out. Following that, we had another episode that borrows heavily from something else. And it's really hard to miss. This is a little different. The episode of Duel. So, of course, Travis returns as the recurring villain here on his revenge streak against Blake. And once again, Travis just isn't all that, really. Blake gets the better of him all the time, which explains his anger. But you can see why he's missing an eye and a hand, and Blake's just fine. But anyway, a Duel, it basically just takes from Star Trek Arena, where there was when Kirk ended up in that desert fighting the Gorn, the big lizard guy. And they were both placed there by these godlike powerful aliens who decided they were going to fight it out between them rather than engage in this war and all that. So there's this ship battle between the Liberator and Travis's little attack squad there. And ultimately, Travis seems to have the upper hand almost, but then they're stopped. Just like in Star Trek, their ships lose power, and then they're contacted by these weird, bizarre creatures from this planet that they've come into the vicinity of. And they're the survivors, immortal survivors apparently, of this race that wiped each other out in war. So they basically are testing Travis and Blake, I suppose, in one part, but also forcing them to settle their differences between the two of them. And they grant them each a companion. So Blake gets Jenna, and Travis gets one of the mutos or mutoids or whatever. And who's not bad looking. Yeah. Well, we learned that she's deliberately been mutated, and that her memory had been ripped away, and she's been basically turned into this compliant drone who obeys orders no matter what, and wears a bell pepper on her head. The shape of it kind of reminded me. Maybe that's one of the things they used for Eldrad in the Doctor Who show. I don't know. But anyway, that's the uniform of these creatures, if you will. And there's even a scene where you say, hey, is Travis even starting to feel some amount of compassion for this poor woman? No. He's just a piece of crap. So there's interesting interaction between these characters and all of that, but basically the plot is more or less the same. The only interesting aspect is here you meet the godlike characters. You only see them briefly in the Star Trek episode, but here it's these two women. One's like an old witch, and the other one's like this ethereal goddess who looks really excited to be there. Maybe the studio was cold. But yeah, she's really beautiful and everything, But so they oversee it, and they make these things happen. Meanwhile, the old lady appears to be the more aggressive one. So in a way, the beautiful woman is similar to Blake's position here, and the old witch-like lady is similar to Travis. She actually is quite taken with Travis and likes his aggressiveness and thirst for revenge, and just he's in it for the fight, and that's it. And one wonders, what would he do if he succeeded? Yeah. Well, he'd find someone else to get pissed off at and kill them too. So anyway, there they go, and Travis learns absolutely nothing. Blake understands that he defeats Travis, and very, very similar to Captain Kirk refuses to kill the Gorn, Blake refuses to kill Travis. which might have been a mistake, huh? Yeah, well, he decided not to. He had won, and it was unnecessary for him to do so. And plus, there's still that idea that they don't know why they're there, but are we doing this for the entertainment of these beings and whatnot? Who knows? But so after that, they figured, well, okay, Blake wins, and he returns to the ships, and well, see you next time. That's it. But yeah, all right. So 2 episodes that borrowed, but a lot of shows do this. And there's some give and take here. I, of course, think the Star Trek episode is the superior one, but here you have the added bit here of the relationship between Blake and Travis, where there was none of that in Star Trek. And here, so Travis is, of course, the recurring villain, which a lot of shows have. Star Trek never really did. It's a mistake to think that Khan was. He wasn't. I don't know why that happens. But I guess, Harry Mudd, maybe? But with Blake, of course, you have Travis, and then, of course, Servalon, who's the real villain for Blake and the Blake 7 show. So anyway, there you go. 2 episodes that, yes, borrowed, but okay. All right. I guess maybe Mission to Destiny was the better one of the 2. But, I had fun. And that's what really matters. Alright, thank you for watching and listening. Why not like and subscribe, and check out that link description below. That'll take you to my mini stores and have plenty of goodies for you. Hats, mugs, stickers, posters, all that goody stuff. Plus, you can head over to IndiePlanet.com and pick up a copy of my comic book, Night Night. Oh, yeah. Plus, you can also catch my podcast, Mr Nailsin Show, over at RadioMisfits.com. And you can also watch my videos on my channel at BitChute. That's the Mr Nailsin channel on BitChute.com.